Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about just some thoughts that I have on setting boundaries and learning how to set boundaries after not really doing that. And yeah, I just want to get right into it. This is something that I'm starting to do now, just in a new perspective, new way. I've always kind of set like basic boundaries, so I thought, but now that I'm just learning more and more about life and learning more and more about myself, I'm understanding that there are many areas in my life in which I didn't set any boundaries, or I would constantly allow others to walk over the boundaries and then end up being frustrated with myself after the fact, or, just being angry or mad, or just, it created a domino effect. So that's just something that I want to talk about, because I feel like as children, of course, we learn based off of what our parents tell us, or what we're taught in school, or what the other people around us are doing. Pretty much those are the main ways in which we learn. So I think for a lot of children, and I'm just speaking from my experience, I think there were maybe a lot of things that happened that weren't necessarily right or moral or what have you, and it kind of skewed your idea of setting boundaries, or your idea of what it means to have boundaries. And I think when you get older, it can kind of be a little bit confusing as an adult, because sometimes things will happen, scenarios, experiences, life, things will happen, and the event that happens will cause you to think that you're doing something wrong, or cause you to think that you're, I don't know, like you're not in the right place, or that you're not doing something right, when in reality it's just a boundary that's been crossed that you haven't yet had to verbalize, or haven't known how to verbalize. And so I'll give an example. So there's a point, I guess, in my life right now where I'm starting new businesses, have a lot of projects going on. There was a point in time where I had nothing going on, so I was always available, always ready and willing and eager to help, many times in my life. But now it's getting to the point where I have to kind of tamper in how much I say yes to, simply because I don't have enough physical time to take care of myself and take care of other people, or help other people in certain ways that are beyond my capacity. And I'm finding a lot of contrast, which is a good thing, right? I'm reframing my mind, but I'm finding that I'm experiencing a lot of contrast right now, because I feel bad for saying no. If somebody needs help with something, if somebody wants to hang out, if someone needs to go somewhere, do something. In the past, I would definitely compromise my sense of self, or I would compromise what I had going on just to make that other person, feel cared for, comfortable, seen, etc. Oh, excuse me, y'all. And so now that I'm at the point where I want to say no, you feel that tension, right? You feel bad. You go back on your word a couple of times. You say no, and then you say yes, because you don't want the other person to feel bad. And what I'm realizing now is that 99.99999% of the time, people are going to operate within their best self-interest. That's just how the world works. And if it is not you making the decision, or setting the rules, setting the boundaries, then it is most likely not in your best self-interest. Now, there are like caveats to this, gray areas, sure, but for the most part, most people are working, even if it does help you, they're still working in their best self-interest. Like, most people won't just help you or do things for you just out of the kindness of their heart. There's usually an ulterior motive or another agenda, consciously or unconsciously. And I know that this is part of like the 48 Laws of Power too, and that's a good book. You should definitely check it out. But that's just the area that I'm in with my life right now. And I find myself getting frustrated a little bit, because I'm like, man, why is this bothering me? I should be over this. I should, setting boundaries should be easy. If I don't want to do something, just simply don't do it. But when you've been conditioned and trained to do things despite not wanting to do them, because you don't want to come off as a certain way or be looked at in a certain light, etc., then it's a little bit, like I said, there's a little bit of friction and tension when you're trying to make that switch. So just remember, if you're going through this as well, trying to set boundaries, just remember to always put yourself first. Like, it's going to feel foreign in the beginning. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel like you're making enemies. It's going to feel like so many different things, but I promise you, in the end, it will get better. And some examples that I do for this now is I've put myself first when it comes to like getting ready, makeup, self-care. It's like, if I need to be a couple of minutes late in order to look my best, feel my best, put on something that I know is going to make me feel good, I will do it. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be, frivolous with other people's time or anything, but I'm starting to learn just how much I was doing myself a disservice by not setting boundaries or by being uncomfortable and not speaking up. And it starts with little things at first, or it could even be big things, but the little things turn into big things. And then before you know it, you're going to look up, you're going to be an adult. There's going to be things happening in your life that you're not going to like. And your initial reaction or your initial gut jerk response is going to be to blame so-and-so for asking you, oh, well, he asked me to borrow this money and now I don't have enough for my, it's just like, you cannot point the fingers anymore. Everything starts and ends with yourself. So yeah, that's just something that I'm like going through right now, setting boundaries. And like I said, it is painful. Like I still, my voice kind of shakes when I set them or when I stick up for myself. And even speaking from somebody who was, I'm talking about me, someone who is learning how to not react out of emotion and how to actually respond, that's also difficult too, because sometimes I'm setting boundaries and I have to kind of put a lens on it of, okay, is this really something that I should let go? Is this something I should stand on? Like, it's kind of like learning how to walk again, like finding your footing. You're going to be wobbly at first. You're going to be tripping. You might fall a little bit. You might stumble. You might misstep. But at the end of the day, as you keep practicing and as you keep doing it, you're going to get better and better and better. And the reason why I want to talk about this too is because I think if we all just set boundaries and did what it is that we truly wanted to do and didn't listen to what other people said or what we were taught or how we grew up or what we learned from so-and-so when we were younger, it's like we would all feel a lot more better, and in turn we would be able to help more. And being selfish is actually the way to become selfless. And it sounds insane because you're literally taught, like I said, and conditioned to put others before you, to not care about yourself, put yourself last. And it just ends up making you feel depleted, making your tank feel empty. And so the past few weeks that I have been putting myself first, saying, no, I need to go to the gym, or, hey, no, I actually have a project I need to finish up. I can't do this for you. Or just simply telling people no and not giving a reason. It's given me a lot more opportunity to actually be there for people in a better capacity, as opposed to just running on fumes and feeling like I'm putting myself last, So for 2026, the rest of 2025, beyond, definitely take a look at whatever boundaries you've set that maybe you want to change, or take a look at any areas in your life where you're just like, I really want to put more focus and intention in this area. So I need to set some boundaries around what it is that I'm doing. That way I can accomplish my goals and focus on what I need to focus on and do whatever is in the best interest and benefit of myself. So if you guys have any thoughts on this video, please let me know. I would love to hear, of course. Thank you again for watching. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.